Within AZZLY, the Master Treatment Plan tab that is now available for any of you who would like to use it. It's available within the tab, as you can see on the patient list. It is also available within the eChart. You also have the ability to add it to your encounters. So the Master Treatment Plan screen, the primary difference, the first primary difference between this and our other master treatment plans is that this is a living document. So instead of creating a treatment plan, finalizing and signing it, and then sending alerts to others who may need to sign it, and then later opening another version and importing the most recent data and updating it, this will remain a living document. It can be updated as needed by any members of the care team, and allows the most current version, the most current data to always be available. As Peggy was mentioning, that it always needs to be the most current information about that patient's progress that is being addressed. So this screen will allow for that. So at the top of the screen, you will see an area labeled treatment plan. And within this drop down, now this being an environment that we have created several in, you may see that we have several treatment plans created for this particular patient. I'm going to focus on the one at the bottom, but you do have the option to create a treatment plan at any point. Typically, those who have been using this feature are creating a treatment plan based off of a patient's episode of care. Not necessarily a medical treatment plan and a mental health treatment plan and so on, but just based off of an episode of care, because multiple areas or specialties within a facility are able to all document in this, making sure that all are aware of the patient's overall picture, instead of having separate treatment plans. Once a treatment plan is created, it will need to be initialized, which I have already initialized this one, so it is in progress, and it will stay in progress until either all of the needs have been met or until the patient discharges, which hopefully coincide with each other. So it will not be finalized until the patient is discharging typically. At the top, you will see a list of the patient's diagnoses. And this will come into play again as we move forward, but you will have available a list of their diagnoses to reference. You will also see any risks or precautions that may be referenced for this patient, as well as archived versions, which we'll talk about again as we move forward. The first banner that you see as we move into the actual treatment plan is the patient assessment. Peggy placed heavy emphasis on this, rightfully so. This is where we're going to identify the patient's strengths, their preferences, and abilities. This is also where we will document any outcome measurement tools or assessments that have been used. So if I were to select yes for this question, then it will allow me to document the results of those outcome measurements. So if I had any GAD-7 or PHQ-9 results that I would like to expound upon, then I can update those within this section and then click Save. Below that, you'll see a section where it's labeled Needs to be Addressed. As Peggy mentioned, we have moved away from the term problem to need. So think where you previously may have had a list of problems, this is now your set of needs. I have some needs already created for this particular patient. If I needed to create a new need, I could do so simply by clicking the Add Need button over on the right. I do want to point out that it says Select Template. When I click on this option, it offers me the primary option of default, which is a blank format to work off of. And we also have a few additional needs or templates that have also been added. So relapse prevention or substance use disorder. If I were to select any of these, let's say substance use disorder, then it will automatically fill in, and I will detail this as we move forward, the need as well as any goals, objectives, or interventions that I, as a user or super user, have had the opportunity to lay out. So if you would like to pre-format some goals, objectives, and interventions for your organization, you do have the ability to do so. If you choose to use that, then your users may modify those so that they are detailed for that individual patient at any point. So I just want to mention that that is an option. But for the needs that I've already listed, I'm going to work off of the relapse prevention need at this time. Within this need, you'll see, or within any of the needs, you'll see some statuses listed. If you see a number out to the side, that's referring to the ASAM dimension that is being referenced. So if your organization does use ASAM, then you may elect to have the ASAM dimension listed or identified within your need. If your organization does not use ASAM, then we can hide this option so that it does not display for you. Now, I have already, as you can see, updated this or created this need. However, at any point, I can click the pencil icon out to the right and update as needed. So if I needed to, at some point, refer to external resources, I am able to document within a text box which resources I may be referring to. I can also update the status at any point as needed. And then here is also where the dimension is able to be selected. Now, because I am on the relapse prevention need, as I scroll down the screen, you'll see the option for goal, and you only see one goal listed. And as I click on that goal, you'll see a tree begin to be built so you'll see the relapse prevention need, with an arrow identifying the goal. So you know that these two are connected. So because I have selected this need above, only the goals for that particular need are listed below. If I had selected a different need above, then I would see different goals listed below. Again, I do have the ability to click the pencil and edit at any point. Now, with any of these sections, as I edit or update, you'll notice a sign button out to the right. When you update a section, you may choose to sign either by staff signature and or by patient signature. So if I were to update this goal, then I can choose to click sign and apply my staff signature. I can also allow the patient to sign by entering a 4-digit PIN here, at which point it would display their participation statement and then their signature below that, indicating that they have also signed that section and the updates applied. Many of these sections also contain a comments area. So as you update, if you would like to add any comments, maybe some changes that were made or some recommendations, if you're part of an interdisciplinary team, you do have the ability to add additional comments here. So know that that is available. As I move down, because I am on this specific goal, and of course I could add goals if I would like, but because I'm on this specific goal, as I move down the screen, you will see objectives related to that goal. So by clicking on an objective, again, this tree continues to display, allowing the user to remember which need they are on, which goal is being addressed, and then again, which objective they're updating. Okay. Same applies. I can update at any point. Of course, as Peggy mentioned, it's important to document the progress or lack of progress towards an objective throughout the course of treatment. So this is something important that can and should be updated as a client progresses. And then based on the objective that I have selected, as I scroll down, I will then see any relevant interventions. If I were to select a different objective, I will then see interventions related to that objective. Okay. So as I move down, I have the ability to sign as needed. Now, when we get down to the interventions, I know that Peggy did mention that it is, of course, important to document the frequency, that it's timely, that what clinical process or what services are being offered. So by clicking the pencil icon, I do have the ability to document, of course, a frequency or an amount, I apologize, as well as a frequency, and then a clinical process. Now, you do see here a set of clinical processes that are defaulted within our system at this time. However, you may at any point select the option of other and enter your own clinical process. So if I wanted to change this, for example, to say case management, I could certainly do so and then update. Now, this is only one part of this feature. Some additional portions of this feature that I would like to point out are the MTP logs screen, or is one of the screens I'd like to point out is the MTP log screen. This is an area that supervisors in particular will find useful. You have multiple filters that you can choose from here so that you can view any changes that have been made to any treatment plans. If you would like to filter by date, only to see those treatment plans that have been updated maybe within the last week or the last month, you could certainly do so. You can also choose to filter by status if you want to view only those that are in progress or those that are finalized, those that have been edited or that someone has signed. You do have many filter options so that at a glance, you're able to view the modifications made to filter or made to treatment plans at any time. You may also filter by patient. Maybe you want to view only by those changes that a certain staff member has made or by a specific type of treatment plan. Now, I mentioned earlier the ability to configure your own preset needs, goals, objectives, and interventions. With a privilege, then you may, under configuration, view the master treatment plan configuration screen. And within this screen, I believe that most any need by any organization, whether you're serving substance use, mental health, adults, adolescents, any services at all provided can be met. Because within this screen, you have the ability to completely modify how your master treatment plans display. Not only can you modify the preset text, so for example, if I wanted to change the name, change the field as evidenced by, I'm just going to change it to evidenced by, for example, then I could. But I could also change the name of the field. I could choose to delete that field and create a new field. When creating a field, you are able to choose the name of the field, the type, so whether it's a single line text field, a multi-line text box, a single select drop down, a multi-select drop down, or a date picker. You also have the ability to allow conditional fields so that certain fields only display based upon the answers provided within other fields. You are able to add as many fields as you would like, as well as modify existing fields. So you can truly build your treatment plans to meet the needs, not only of your organization, but also by your state. So if your state requires certain date fields within certain fields, you're able to easily add those fields. You're able to add preset, as I mentioned, goals, objectives, and needs. You can build these out in as much detail as you would like. And again, once these are created, your staff will have the ability to still modify any of those preset treatment plans so that they are still personalized to the actual patient being served. So at this point, and one last thing I do want to mention, because for those of you who have been with us for a while, you may know that previously, in order for anything to be printed, it must be finalized. With this treatment plan screen, you will see a printer icon in the upper left corner. You may choose to click print, and at any point, whether it's finalized or not, and you could choose to print the entire treatment plan, or if you would like for your patient to only focus on specific goals or interventions at a particular time, then you may choose to only print those areas. So you have some flexibility in terms of printing, whether printing the entire treatment plan, maybe to send to a payer, or selecting only specific focus areas for your patient. You have flexibility there. So at this point, I would like to turn it back over to Coletta or to those who have joined for any questions that you may have.